You are the Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio this year. And man, do we have a lot to cover on the program today. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the great Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been a guest on this program and who I've met a couple of times, made last night's State of the Union the only State of the Union that I can think of that will have any meaningful consequences or even be productive. You know, what she did last night was so spectacular that she deserves an award. I mean, if there's an award to give out, I mean, what she did last night was historic in nature. And, you know, I had the State of the Union on last night. I'm lying in bed on my 3-inch mattress topper 2.0. And I told my wife, I said, you know, if I had the ability to be there in person, like if I was in Congress, I wouldn't go. I would not be able to go and sit there and listen to this senile old coot spew all his BS. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a lot smarter than me, not only did Marjorie Taylor Greene go, but she actually got Biden to change on the fly. When you're dealing with severe cognitive decline like he is, you don't want to do anything on the fly. But the great Marjorie Taylor Greene got Joe Biden on the fly to change his State of the Union speech and bring to the nation's attention Laken Riley, even though he couldn't say the name right. And I want to go through this morning in the beginning of the program, and I'd like to get one of those pins. But man, that was just nothing like that's ever happened before. All right, nothing like that has happened, to my knowledge, in the history of the State of the Unions. Now, you know, the State of the Union, by the presidents are required to report the State of the Union to the Congress. It's in the Constitution somewhere. I don't know, but they don't have to do it in person. And this in-person State of the Union thing started, of course, with television. Before that, they just did it in writing. They would send a letter, you know, and the letter would be detailing the State of the Union. It was really just a formality, and then TV came in, and then they all want to be on TV because it's a big campaign speech, especially the one that comes this close to the election. They all do it. And what State of the Unions are, typically, are uneventful and incredibly boring. And what presidents do is they get up there and they make campaign speeches, make a bunch of promises that never come true. Now, of course, I'm not talking about Donald Trump's State of the Unions, okay? He's the exception to this. But, you know, I'm talking about like all the others. They make a bunch of campaign promises in the State of the Union, none of which come true, and then they spew a bunch of lies about their greatness that, of course, are also not true. And like I remember Bill Clinton, I think it was his first State of the Union. You know, last night, Biden was talking about Obamacare. Oh, my goodness. Obamacare. Do you know that when Obamacare was going on, do you know that a Democrat approached Steve and I off the air and offered to pay us if we would not say Obamacare and called it the Affordable Care Act? Ever tell you guys that? That's true. These people are sleazy. See, Steve and I don't take payoffs. Maybe that's why I'm not syndicated on 1,000 stations like Clay Aiken and Buck Sexton. I don't take payoffs. I don't know, I guess. You know, but the State of the Union of Bill Clinton, if you remember, and I'm pretty sure this was his first one, he had a card he held up, and it was for Hillary Care. You guys remember Hillary Care? I remember this one so well, you know, and, everyone's going to have this card. We're all going to have Hillary Care. And I remember he also promised that community college, 2 years of community college, that was going to be the new normal. It was going to be part of high school, and all this stuff. And none of it comes true. There was only one State of the Union, other, of course, than I'm not talking about Donald Trump's State of the Unions, okay? I wouldn't miss a moment of those, and they're all spectacular. I'm talking about all the other presidents now. The only State of the Union, other than Trump's, that I was remotely interested in staying up for, because I've always had to get up in the middle of the night when I was on the air overnights or in the morning, so it's hard for me to stay up for these things live. By the way, I did go to sleep and watch at the beginning of the State of the Union and watched it this morning, and I finished it in the car listening to it on the way in this morning. So, but I can't stay up for that. Are you kidding me? I'd get to bed so late, and, I'd be here like, on the... But the only State of the Union other than Trump's that I was remotely interested in watching is Bill Clinton did a State of the Union during the height of the Monica Lewinsky sex scandal. And as I some of this on my podcast last night, looking back, the Monica Lewinsky scandal to a lot of people doesn't seem like a big deal. It was almost as big as the O.J. Simpson trial. It was huge, huge. And he did not do a press conference in 2 years, Bill Clinton, because he was afraid someone would ask about Monica Lewinsky. And he did a State of the Union. And there was a whole week of will he do it? Will he show up? And he did it, and, it was interesting. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm going to play the audio after the first break. But not only did she bring up, get Joe Biden to change his State of the Union speech, the main message out of the State of the Union, other than the State of the Union is we're screwed unless Trump is back, in January taking the oath of office, but Marjorie Taylor Greene actually made the State of the Union last night. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union, and what she did with Biden was not just spectacular, like I said. It was a historical moment where a member of the House of Representatives did something that normally wouldn't get much play. She put on what I'm wearing, a MAGA hat. She put on a Make America Great Again hat, which is a big no-no. You're not supposed to wear political garb or merch in the House chamber, especially during these State of the Unions. Of course, Democrats can do whatever they want, and they wear their Ukraine flags. And I don't know why, or Democrats, why do those Democrat ladies wear all the white? They may be virginal. I mean, you look at these ladies, who wants to be with them? But Marjorie Taylor Greene broke a big rule wearing the Make America Great Again hat. And if we didn't have Mike Johnson there, if we had one of these sleaze bucket sellout uniparty speakers still, McCarthy or any of them, they would have made her take it off. But she wore the Make America Great Again hat. And of course, many of the Republicans, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, were wearing the Say Her Name, Laken Riley buttons. But then she handed it to Joe Biden. I'm going to play the audio of all this when we get back. She handed one of the Laken Riley buttons to Joe Biden. He took it, didn't know what the heck was going on. He was completely incoherent. And then during the State of the Union, when he botched saying her name, he only brought up Laken Riley because Marjorie Taylor Greene not only handed him the button on the way in, but shouted it at him. And, Joe Biden, he very well may have an earpiece helping him speak along the way. He very well may do that. And, when Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted out, "Say her name, Laken Riley," I think Joe Biden, and I'm not kidding with this. I'm not trying to be funny. This is not a joke or anything. I think when Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted out at Joe Biden, "Say her name, Laken Riley," I think Joe Biden, in his severe cognitive state of decline, thought that was one of his handlers cueing him on what to say. I really do believe that. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. And then he said it, and he botched it. And then he starts talking about how all the illegals have killed Americans. I mean, he just really... He really blew it. But I tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that you know she got a call from President Trump last night. There's no way President Trump did not call to high five over the phone or something Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was one of the most amazing moments that I'm trying to think when, and I'm not talking about just State of the Unions. I'm talking about in my entire lifetime, I'm trying to think of a moment where a member of the United States House of Representatives did something on the level that Marjorie Taylor Greene did last night, that as great and as beautiful and as important. And you know what? I can't think of one. If you can, let me know. Now we're going to play the. We'll go to the break first. We'll take the first break. When we get back, I'll play the. There's 2 audio bites I have of this great moment, and I'll get to those when we get back. All right. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Now, it is Friday, and on Friday, we call it Open Phone Friday, but I don't like to rip off the Open Phone Friday from the great late Rush Limbaugh, so we call it Open MAGA Mic Friday. And on Open MAGA Mic Friday, you're welcome to call in about any and everything you have on your mind. You are not limited to the topics that I bring up, all right? The other 4 days of the week, you are. Although sometimes it's kind of like herding cats with that, but I try. But today, you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics I'm bringing up. However, I do think I'm bringing up some pretty interesting things already, and will till 9, and hopefully you find them somewhat interesting enough to comment on. But it is open phones, Open MAGA Mic Friday, 1-888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
Oh, man. What a great day.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Oh, the State of the Union response is always a disaster. Kate Britt, you know, they're calling her, like, the liberals are calling her like an OnlyFans girl. Yeah, a listener sent me this hoodie. They sent me a whole bunch of hoodies, but this is orange is my favorite color. I like this one the best. I like hoodies because they have pockets, and, you know, and they level up your dress just a little more upscale than the T-shirt I'm wearing underneath, so I can look more dressed up than I am. Not that I'm dressed up, but, you know. Although, once I get outside, I got to take this off because this is going to be too hot for the Florida weather. Yeah, I got a bunch of hoodies. I don't wear them that much because I'm in Florida.
Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Now, those of you that sub to my vlogging channel, I'm going to go today to the RV show when I get off the air. There's an RV show right down the street from the radio station that starts today. So I'm going to go and vlog the RV show today and check out these RVs. So if you follow my other channel, I'll put that up. I don't know if I'll get it up today or tomorrow, but you'll get to see that there. Oh. It was great. Sarasota Tim will be there. I doubt Sarasota Tim may be there. It is free to get in. This RV show, it's free entry and free parking. I was making sure it started this morning at 9. I'll probably be there about 9:30. If I see Sarasota Tim, I'll say hi, see if I can get him in my vlog. I don't know if he'd want to be in my vlog, though, Sarasota Tim. I don't know. Now, guys, I checked. The free shipping continues at MyPillow.com site-wide. So if you'd like to support my content, go to MyPillow.com. Use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right. Well, you know, it's Friday. That means it's the weekend. The weekend starts at 9 a.m., right? Does it start at 9 a.m.? What time does it start for you, Mike? 9, 10, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.? Yeah, I know. That's why you guys should get in radio. You know, it's great. 9 a.m., that's when the weekend starts. So every weekend's like a 3-day weekend if you work in radio. But, you know, that's right. But, you know, the thing is, though, the weekends, I've got a lot of weekend plans. I'm always more active over the weekend. And if you are in pain, you're probably not as active as I am on the weekends. You know, before Dr. Appleton rid me of knee pain, I wasn't as active on the weekends as I am now either. You know, when Dr. Appleton rid me of knee pain, that's when I started riding the Vespa. I got a Vespa, the MAGA scooter 2.0, I call it. Got the Vespa all over town and everything. And I wouldn't be able to do that without Dr. Appleton ridding me of knee pain. Because every time I stop at a light, I got to put my right foot down on the ground and hold the thing. You know, it's amazing. Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment not only rids you of pain, it actually it repairs the damage that's causing the pain. It works on pretty much every type of pain I've ever heard of, and a lot I've never heard of. It works. And you know, it's 100% painless because there's no injections. That's right. There's no surgery. There's no medications that don't do anything but either get you hooked on something or just mask the pain, and it just works. Give him a call. Walk-ins are welcome. Appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays. His number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, callers on hold. Stand by. I want to play the audio bites I have of this Marjorie Taylor Greene moment. And when I tell you, I want someone to tell me when a president of the United States has had their State of the Union speech altered on the fly by a member of the United States House of Representatives from the opposing party, like the great Marjorie Taylor Greene did last night. And you guys know, if you go back and listen to my interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene, that interview was, I love her. You can tell in that interview how much I love her. And that was a difficult interview because someone from her office texted me a few minutes before the interview and told me that a very important person was going to be listening live, and you can guess who that is. They're right down the street right now from the radio station. But anyway, so the first clip, I know I was very nervous. Did I sound nervous? This is Marjorie Taylor Greene when Biden is he's scooting down the aisle there. Okay, this was the first.
Laken Riley. Say your name, Mr. President.
Okay, so that's when Marjorie Taylor Greene gave him the pen. And she must know something about people in cognitive decline because she gave him the button, he took the button, and then she planted in his mind the whole thing. And in his cognitive decline, I think it got processed like, oh, okay, this is one of my handlers, like the Easter Bunny on the White House lawn. I'm supposed to do what she says. And then during the State of the Union, when it was a little quiet, Marjorie Taylor Greene shouts out, say her name, Laken Riley. And then Biden tried to do it.
I'd be a winner. Not really.
Okay, now you hear the boos. There was a guy that I just saw on Right Side Broadcasting last week, and I can't remember his name. He's a congressman, and during Obama's State of the Union, he yelled out, "You lie!" at the top of his lungs, and he did it at a moment where everyone stopped talking, and he was like censured by Congress. He got in like a lot of trouble. Who was the speaker then? Can't remember. But anyway, nothing like that's going to happen to the great Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I'd be a winner. Not really.
Now, all those boos and hisses, those are the Democrats in their white clothes.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed.
Yeah, so there he gets the name wrong. He calls her Laken Riley, not Lincoln.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegal?
A lot. I mean, boom. I mean, that's great. And he used foul language. He said illegal. He called them illegal, which tells us that's what he really thinks and says. He didn't say newcomer. He didn't say undocumented. He said illegal. Oh, my. So Nancy Pelosi's over on CNN after the State of the Union.
They should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing?
No, I actually wasn't even going to ask about that. I was just going to ask more about the moment, but you do think that he should have said undocumented? That wasn't going to be my question.
Well, we usually say undocumented. He said
yeah, or newcomer. Yeah. So Nancy Pelosi, you can tell there's panic inside the top of the DNC because Dana Bash at CNN, I wasn't even going to ask about that. But it's on Pelosi's mind. She's so freaked out that she just blurted it out. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if she was the Speaker of the House? She's Congresswoman Kickbutt, okay? I mean, she's a superhero. I would love, do you think she'd be better where she is, or would you like to see her as Vice President of the United States with President Trump? Which would you like? Vice President Marjorie Taylor Greene, who would be our nominee next time and be the second MAGA president and the first female president? Or do you want her to stay in the House and maybe become Speaker of the House? I love her. That woman is the best. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. There's 2 openings on the board. We'll take our break. We'll come back to the phones. I will take the calls in the order in which they were received. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. It doesn't get better than that. It does not get better than that. Oh, man. If you love Marjorie Taylor Greene too, press 1. Press 1 if you love Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, she made history. She made history. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, she is awesome. That, you know, I can't express enough how historic what she did is. That nothing like that's ever happened before. It shows how feeble and gone Biden is, that he can be manipulated by the most MAGA person in the Congress. Yeah, she's a Jimmy Walker dynamite. I mean, you know, she's just amazing. She can't retire. How's her husband going to get all those great stock picks? Oh, yeah. It was her State of the Union. It was definitely Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union. This is our bottom of the hour break. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. Deborah, thanks so much for that. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. There's only one opening on the board right now. Oh, Gigi was gifted that membership from Deborah. Awesome. Yeah, all of you members out there, you know, we got all those cool emojis. Let's see the Marjorie Taylor Greene emojis. Bonnie just put it out there. So if you're a member, you got the emojis. He said Laken Riley, like Abraham Lincoln. Absolutely. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Yeah, the illegals have killed thousands. Is it that? It's probably, you know, how many Americans have been killed by illegals over the decades? Is it in the millions? I used to love Lincoln Logs. I had Lincoln Logs. I loved Lincoln Logs. But they had a smell to them. But I loved my Lincoln Logs. I used to build things with my Lincoln Logs and then use my Star Wars action figures in them. Well, fentanyl's part of the illegal problem. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was beautiful. Hey, guys, don't forget, free shipping continues with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at mypillow.com. Free shipping site-wide. I had Legos, too. I had Legos. I had Lincoln Logs. I still have my Star Wars action figures. In a Darth Vader carrying case in the closet in my studio at home. Also had Weeble Wobbles. Anybody have Weeble Wobbles? Weebles wobble because they can't fall down. I had the McDonald's Weeble Wobble set. Lincoln Logs were cool. Oh, they don't make them out of wood anymore? But they used to have a smell to them. I can remember. Weebles wobble, but they won't fall down. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind having like a Mar-a-Lago Weeble Wobble set, right? Wouldn't that be cool? I had a pet rock. Absolutely, everybody had it. Freedom Soup, everything's made in China pretty much, man. Except my MAGA hat. This is made in USA. All right. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark.
I wasn't going to watch the State of the Union, but I decided to. And I put it on, and Joe was screaming about the 30,000 innocent Palestinians that got killed. But I couldn't handle it, so I turned it off. But I watched Right Side Broadcasting with Marjorie.
Yeah, Brian Glenn and Marjorie Taylor Greene did the response to the State of the Union, but I've not seen it yet.
It is very good, and I'm just amazed at how tough Marjorie is.
You know, and she's not, you know, if you ever have the opportunity to meet Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's tiny. She's tiny. Now, she's, like, full of muscle. I mean, her arms, you know, or massive, you know. But she's tiny and she's tough.
But, you know, that interview is very good, and it just shows how tough she is.
Well, there's never been and if, I'm going to throw this out. Maybe you can think about it. Have you ever seen a member of the United States House of Representatives of the opposing party or the same party get a president to change their State of the Union speech on the floor moments before the speech? That's never happened before, and she did it. And the message out of that, I mean, Biden was even saying, how many Americans have been killed by illegals, right? He was even asking the question, how many thousands of Americans have been killed by illegals, Biden asked, because of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, you know, if it wasn't for her, he would have never said that.
Correct.
He doesn't even talk to the family of the people killed by those terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has spent a lot of time with the families that lost their members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, you know, liberals don't care. They don't care. Hey, Mark, appreciate the call, man. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
By the way, the guy who said you lie was Joe Wilson.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So, yeah, but he's also done some bad things as well, but that's neither here nor
Who
there.
cares about that? That you lie thing he did during Obama's State of the Union was awesome because it was true.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And she is a tough, she is a really bad behind person, because think about this. She got the Sergeant of Arms to back down.
By the way, this lady Sergeant of Arms, you know, usually the Sergeant of Arms is someone who has a deep voice. Mr. Speaker, you know, and this was like, I couldn't even hardly hear her.
Yeah, but she got her back down when she came and told her to take off the MAGA hat, you know, and she goes, take off the hat. You're gonna have to do it, or you're gonna have to arrest me. And she
Really? Hold on a minute. I didn't hear about this. This lady Sergeant of Arms told Marjorie Taylor Greene to remove her hat?
Yes.
I did not. Where'd you hear that? I did not see that.
Well, I was listening. I was listening to a lot of the coverage from.
Oh, and okay. Oh, and right side. She said it on right side. So she told the Sergeant of Arms the same thing she told that BC reporter. F off.
Yes, and she did, and she got her to back off.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful.
This woman reminds me of a teacher I had in school. We used to call her the drill sergeant because she was very, very tough. You didn't want to mess with her, you know.
Wow.
Little short girl, but a little short woman. But that's neither here nor there. This is a woman I want her as the Speaker of the House. I mean, Mike Johnson is not doing a good job. I want MTG as the Speaker of the House.
Well, I'm gonna make a prediction here. Okay, she is public enemy number one, and you're gonna start to see the left are gonna go after Marjorie Taylor Greene big time right now to try to discredit her, and you're gonna start seeing tabloid stories and things about her. They're only gonna make her stronger, just like Trump. But she made history last night. That was, I've not seen her right side broadcasting response with Brian Glenn yet. I'll try to watch that today because it's too late. I got to be up early to be here and stuff, you know, and be prepared. But she made history. In fact, that was probably, and I'm going to tell you, and I've been thinking about this the last 40 minutes since the show started. I think that's the most historical moment in any State of the Union. I don't think anything like that's happened. She got a president to not only change their State of the Union speech live as it was happening, she got the president to start giving the position of the oppositional party.
Absolutely. They're already after her because she's after Fannie.
That's right. Hey, appreciate the call, Mike. That's great. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Hey, Richie, the bus driver.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene said the ladies in wait are about the new abortion law, Roe v. Wade, where they can have an abortion up to birth. And that's why they were in white. It's a protest dress, the way they were dressing. She also said in that interview with Brian that they told her you have to take the hat off. She says, "I'll take the fine." She says, "We'll have you removed." She says, "Well, you're going to have to try that." And
but wait a minute. I see some of these women in the Congressional Black Caucus wear their hats, right? Like you wear in church on Sundays. You know how the ladies wear? They wear and Tlaib wears a hijab or whatever you call it. Making America Great Again isn't political. That's like that's.
But here's the deal, Brian. I think what you missed, I don't know if you missed it or not, I caught it right away. Then I seen Tucker say it. I was very disgusted with, I knew what was coming with the speech. But you know who I was disgusted with? And they should immediately vacate the chair as Speaker of the House. That guy that's sitting right in back of Biden, I couldn't believe what he did, and it's disgusting.
What'd he do? What'd he do?
He shook his head like yes, clapped when he said we have to fund Ukraine to stop Putin, and said that he made a backdoor deal already where they're going to vote on it. He's going to
and let me tell you, let him do it. He'll have a very short tenure as Speaker, and I'll tell you this, okay? They got to. Have you seen the fake news talking point about that with Johnson?
No.
Did you know that when you sit behind the president during the State of the Union, it's hard to, you don't really hear what they're saying? That's what they're saying. It's hard to hear when you're behind him, so you don't really, if you're sitting behind the president during the State of the Union, you don't hear what he says.
Shaking his head. Like,
yes,
and he was clapping.
Every time he shook his head, it was like a cash register. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, and so he's all for this. In other words, I learned one thing last night. Being a conservative is not being MAGA. These people are still rhinos. Mm-hmm. I mean, just got to be vacated immediately.
I told you guys when Mike Johnson first came out as Speaker, I told you guys, I said, I don't trust this guy. His hair's too perfect, and he's too polished, just like Pence.
What a bum, man. I can't believe he's worse than McCarthy. I mean, at least McCarthy, you know what's coming. This guy he's doing a backdoor deal where they're not going to know, and he's not going to get blamed for it.
Yeah.
To vote immediately. He's not going to do it.
But what about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, man. Beautiful.
Let me tell you, she's a tough cookie, and this guy is such a liar. What Brian is, she showed all the lies, and the numbers don't lie. Everything this guy comes out of his mouth is a total lie, and he was very. I noticed how he started fumbling again towards the end of this thing. This is he walked down the aisle like he had a glaze in his eye. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know where the hell he is. I'm telling you.
Do you know when the cabinet came in, and I saw Mayorkas. I got this new TV, with a great picture, and Mayorkas is a weird looking dude. He is a strange looking dude.
Marjorie stopped him first.
Yeah.
And he was shocked looking at it, and then he kept on going.
He was scared. He was scared.
All
Biden knew was a lady wanted his attention, so he was right there. I'm surprised he didn't try to sniff her hair.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with Johnson. No, this is a major problem.
Listen. And when this is all over, the whole House is up again. We're going to have a huge majority in the midterms. When we come back in the new Congress after this, and we're going to get a real conservative speaker. Right now, we barely have a majority. No, he's not.
To Ukraine. And he's funding the border, too, while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
All this, with all these, he said he wasn't going to do any of these CCRs, whatever they are, to push the can down the road. That's all he's done. Mm-hmm. Better than what we had there.
All right, Richie. I gotta run. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. I am pleased to say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. The Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners, from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches, with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingles.
I'd like to find that audio bite of Marjorie Taylor Greene
Tile and flat roof systems. So come on.
talking about the hat. Let me see if I can find it.
Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again
Okay, got
is
that.
954-604-4602.
Mom, can I have some ice cream?
I don't see the cut of.
Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smart
Let me-
is easy and delicious. Interested
As
in
he
receiving
walked
healthy
by you,
recipes and a whole
and there's amazing video right now where you confronted him. Walk me through that.
So the first one I confronted was Secretary Mayorkas. I want to start with him. The House impeached Secretary Mayorkas. Those were my articles of impeachment that we passed on the House floor. Historic. As a matter of fact, this is one of the only Republican accomplishments we've had this Congress. And when Secretary Mayorkas came walking down the aisle, I was sitting, my seat was right by the aisle, so I was standing up.
Guys, you guys can help me on the fly. The audio of, it's on the Right Side Broadcasting Twitter, is the response that Marjorie Taylor Greene gave. Let me see how long it is. Hold on. I need to know, in the full-length response that Marjorie Taylor Greene gave on Right Side Broadcasting to the State of the Union, where, at what point does she talk about the Sergeant of Arms telling her to take off the hat? It's a 43-minute video.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve.
All right, we are back. Call us on hold standby. We are celebrating Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union last night. Very, very good. Now, I want to talk about this free offer from Sloman's. You heard that right. Sloman's is going to give you a free, which is valued at $1,500, home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 10 entry points, a lifetime service plan, professional installation, and a backup battery. Plus, you get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call. Here's the number, 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once. Twice. All right. You're out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
That State of the Union address was an embarrassment for our country. It showed the complete incompetence of Biden, and Marjorie Taylor Greene did awesome wearing that hat.
Oh, yes.
Interrupting him, and making him say Laken Riley. And that poor girl's family deserves a lot of our respect.
By the way, could you imagine? I want you to think about this. On CNN, they like to call Biden the consoler-in-chief. Could you imagine if your 22-year-old baby was brutally murdered by one of Biden's illegals, and then the President of the United States goes on TV and says their name wrong while he's holding a damn button with their name on it?
it's just like I said. It was a complete embarrassment for our country. And
It was. Let me tell you, it was disrespectful to Laken Riley's parents and to her. I bet if they gave him the name of the illegal killer, he wouldn't get that wrong. He'd probably even have to do it with like a Spanish accent.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi saying, "Oh, he shouldn't have said illegal. He should have said undocumented."
Oh,
anybody? I mean, that's just so absurd.
How about murderer? How about rapist killer? How about that rapist killer?
That's right. Call it what it is. And they won't. They try to sugarcoat anything that makes illegals look bad. And I'm just sick of them putting illegals above America.
Well, listen.
Veterans out of homes and put illegals in them. That just I tell you, I'm surprised to make.
You know, and the thing about it is, if you look at the Democrats, they always put Americans last, right? Illegals, Ukrainians, Palestinian terrorists, always to the front of the line.
Yep. And when will America finally wake up that this party of Democrats and rhinos, the Uniparty, has nothing for America?
1850.
It's all about
Thanks,
them
Michael.
and getting enriched. And I believe they're trying to destroy our country on
1850.
purpose. They're going to.
Yes, they are. Why do you think they wanted to go crypto? They want our dollar to be. They want to have an American cryptocurrency now. You know.
November 5th can't come quick enough, Brian, because when we wake up November 6th, I think they're going to call the election.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to, on election nights, I don't stay up because I got to get up early and then be here and everything else, and I don't stay up. And there's no better way to start my day than waking up the morning after the election. It's 2 a.m. and President Trump is president-elect again. What do you call a president who's president-elect? Mr. President, president-elect? Is that what we call him? Mr. President, president-elect?
I think they call it president-elect.
Yeah, but he's already been president, so we'll give him both time. Mr. President, president-elect. Have you? Let me tell you something. I'll tell you there's two exciting things that I've had happen to me in the when I got to go to Mar-a-Lago, okay, and of course the $24,000 autographed MAGA hat. That's in my safe deposit box at the bank, and that's beautiful. But I actually got to call President Trump Mr. President. You know how excited I got? Yeah. I mean, is that amazing? Yeah.
One of my best moments was in 2015. He came to Bangor, Maine twice, and the first time he came to the Cross Insurance building, I was in the front row, right up against the rope, as closest to him as I could be.
Isn't that nice? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Jeff.
To do that again, Brian.
Well, let me tell you. Oh yes. When it came up to me, I didn't get to shake his hand. The guy next to me did. Right? The guy next to me, the guy on my right. When President Trump came up, the guy on the right was a U.S. ambassador appointed by Trump. I can't remember what country, but he's black. So I don't know how many black ambassadors did we have. And then there was this super rich guy on my left because he had the $24,000 hat on too. And President Trump came by and he kind of like pushed his way in. And I called him Mr. President. He grabbed his hand. And then when President Trump left, he says, "Oh, I got to shake his hand. You did." And I'm like, you pushed me out of the way. But I'll tell you this. Marjorie Taylor Greene last night is a super star. And yeah.
Brian, Marjorie Taylor Greene has more gonads than most Republican men in Congress. She has tenacity. She's just a wonderful example.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say this. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene should be the Speaker of the House of the new Congress. No question about it. You know, you need a tough person, not some wimpy guy. And she's a tough broad, and I think she would take that as a compliment. You know, I'm going to play in the next hour her telling the story about the sergeant of arms trying to get her to take off her MAGA hat. You know, and she got there, and she took on the President of the United States. She took on the Secretary of Homeland Security, and she took on the Sergeant of Arms, and she got the President of the United States to change his speech and start asking questions that Trump asks. How many thousands of Americans have been killed by illegals? Great question, Biden. That's what we're asking. I'd like to know. Let's ask Mayorkas. He was up there sitting up front.
How can anybody, after watching that State of the Union address, say that he's confident and should be running for president again?
Exactly.
That great face.
Exactly. All right, Jeff, take care. Appreciate the call. You know, after I got to meet the president and this other guy that was there that I was talking to, he's like, I got to shake his hand, you didn't. And I said, yeah, but I got the hat, and you don't. So I think, I might, you know what I might do this morning? You know what I might do this morning? I'm going to the RV show after the show, but I'm going to make a video for YouTube. But I think I might go to the bank. So I could just take my $24,000 autographed by the president, Donald Trump, MAGA hat out of the safe deposit box and just wear it for a minute. You know, if you go to any of you guys got safe deposit boxes? When you go to the bank and you get your safe deposit box, they take you get to go in a little private room to open up your box in private. I might just do that today and wear the hat in there. I might. Would that be weird? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. I tell you, is this the Democrat response? All right, now, after the top of the hour, somebody told me, they got me the audio of Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about her confrontation over her MAGA hat with the Sergeant of Arms. So I'm going to share that when we get back. We'll come back with your calls as well. It's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Remember, although we got a lot of great stuff in the news today, Friday is Open Phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in and discuss any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up like you are the other 4 days of the week. So it is Open Phones today. I want to remind everyone that free shipping continues at MyPillow.com, site-wide on all items with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. On top of the special deals, huge savings at MyPillow.com. All the mattress toppers are on sale for huge discounts. The MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0 is 50% off right now with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, plus free shipping site-wide, even on the mattress topper. So a lot of big savings there, and it's a great way for you to support the radio show and the radio station and everything else, too. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, back after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3.
Okay, at 18 minutes and 50 seconds, let me pull it up. $18.50. Okay. Well, it's going to play commercial. Make me watch commercials first.
America's power grid is inches from collapse. Old and under stress. One event is enough to knock it down. Most people are under.
I am very humbly asking if you could chip in $5, $10, or even $25. I know that times could be tough, and they are.
I'm going to watch the full ad of President Trump. I'm not going to skip President Trump's ad.
greater than ever before. I promise you that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. I can't get it to play. Okay, 1850.
Political messages, no. There is a rebuttal that the Republicans are having right now, but I just, in clear transparency, I don't necessarily think all of those. We want to get to the facts of MAGA and what matters to real Americans. I was sitting next to a gentleman up in the balcony, and I kept seeing all these, Democrats up there that was that they kept cheering and clapping every time. They kept chanting 4 more years, and I was like, 4 more years of things like that, but chanting 4 more years, that's a
speech. Every Democrat in the area sitting around me, and I was sitting right next to the center aisle, so they were everywhere. They all started yelling at me.
What were they saying?
Okay, let me get back.
No signs, no.
Okay. All right, we're going to play that when we get back. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. 30 seconds. All right, here we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Okay, so the great Marjorie Taylor Greene, who hijacked Biden's State of the Union last night, after the State of the Union, Marjorie Taylor Greene sat down with her boyfriend, Brian Glenn, and did their own response to the State of the Union. And the great Marjorie Taylor Greene was, of course, wearing what I'm wearing. No, not ladies' underwear, a Make America Great Again hat. And that's a big no-no, according to the House rules. Only members of the Congressional Black Caucus are allowed to wear their hats, right? That was a big deal, you know? And a lot of those women are wearing wigs. Wigs are a hat, too, but you're not supposed to wear hats and nothing political. Well, I got news for you. I saw all kinds of political garb. How many members of Congress were wearing Ukraine flags on their clothes? A lot of them. Those white outfits the Democrat ladies wear, that's political. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was wearing her Make America Great Again hat, and she had some issues. Now, I want to say in advance, I have not listened to this in advance, which I normally do not do. When I play something on the air, I usually listen to it first to make sure it's relevant, but I think this is the right part. Let's go.
Things like that. Anything to get it. And they'll lie to you and I and say, you know what, Things are great, Marjorie. We need 4 more years of what we're seeing. So, but let's talk about that for a second. You got a lot of crap for wearing that hat.
That's right.
Because no political messages, no signs, no hats, things like that.
Yeah.
But chanting 4 more years, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, there is decorum on the House floor, and we're not supposed to be political in the chamber, in the House of Representatives. It's the people's house. It's not supposed to be political. The State of the Union is not supposed to be a political speech. It's not supposed to be a campaign speech. But tonight's speech for Joe Biden was a campaign speech because he's in big trouble, and is in very big trouble because of the number one issue in America, and that is the border. But when I put on this hat, every Democrat in the area sitting around me, and I was sitting right next to the center aisle, so they were everywhere. They all started yelling at me.
What were they saying? Could you understand what they were saying?
No, well, a lot of it.
Okay. Now stand by, Mike, because I'm listening to this cold. She's quoting Democrats. There may be some profanities, okay, but we can handle that. That's what the delay's for.
The border. But when I put on this hat, every Democrat in the area sitting around me, and I was sitting right next to the center aisle, so they were everywhere. They all started yelling at me.
What were they saying? Could you understand what they were saying?
No, well, a lot of it I couldn't understand because so many were yelling at me at the same time. But one of them was complaining about me wearing a hat, and we're not supposed to wear hats on the House floor. And I said, I'll pay the fine. I'll pay the fine.
What do you think that fine costs?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that I paid over $100,000 in fines last Congress because Nancy Pelosi fined me every single time I walked down the House floor because I refused to wear a mask. And so it could be anywhere like $2,500. I'm not sure, okay. $5,000.
And you don't care. You knew that going in that you would.
I'll pay the fine, but here's what offended me. Here's what I found to be outrageous. Is Sergeant at Arms came up.
Here we go.
And told me that I needed to take the hat off, and I said I'm not taking the hat off. I refused to take it off, and he said, "Well, it's decorum." I said, "I certainly understand. You do what you need to do. I'll pay you a fine. I'll do whatever, a warning, whatever there is, but I'm not taking the hat off." And he said, "Well, you're gonna have to leave, or we're gonna take you out." And I was like, "You can haul me out of here. Go ahead and try it, but I'm not taking this hat off." And I told him, I'm elected by my district. This is the people's house. I will wear this hat. I will wear it here in the House floor because my district supports President Trump, supports Make America Great Again policies, and supports me wearing this hat. I'm not taking it off, and I'm not leaving.
So he threatened to remove you, and you said, "Fine, if you got to remove me, remove me."
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen them to try to do that.
Me too.
How many Republicans now? Let's talk about this. How many Republicans supported you for wearing that hat? Did you get some high fives and some fist bumps?
I got plenty of support. I had not one single Republican tell me I should take the hat off.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, when Marjorie Taylor Greene was on the show, I told her, because she said she represents her, I said, you know, you represent your district, Congresswoman, but you represent all of us, too. She doesn't just represent her district. She's a mayor. Remember how Mayor Giuliani was America's mayor? Marjorie Taylor Greene is America's Congresswoman. And I got to tell you, and I don't say this lightly, I think she's the only choice for Speaker of the House after the November elections. We're going to have a new Congress. She should be the Speaker. No questions about it. Because you want your Speaker to be a tough cookie who doesn't take any crap. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, this is going to be one of those days. I think we have one of the... maybe we should start calling them since I have their number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Doug.
Yeah, man, oh man, I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now I even love her more, man. She is fantastic, and I hope she's either vice president or speaker of the House or something, man, because wearing that hat really made me. I was so happy to see her wearing that hat. That was fantastic. Anyway, the thing I wanted to say is Joe Biden has always been a plagiarist. And he stole everything from President Trump. Oh, yeah, I want to buy American.
Yeah.
And close the border. I mean, it's sickening. You know, what bothered me most about that
is listen to all those Democrats out there applauding and thinking about how all their constituents are voting for them. This country is in bad shape. And I'm thinking the best way for President Trump to get his word out is, and his new commercial is fantastic, but it's a little long. So I'm thinking if he makes a lot of small, like 15-second, 10-second commercials and have them blasting America all over the place. That will get his message out, or like maybe 10 or 15 ones saying all his points.
Maybe. Good point. Good idea, Doug. Hey, appreciate the call. Now, I want to play this clip. This is Joe Biden. And this is what I want to ask you with this. Is Joe Biden in this clip threatening the Supreme Court of the United States of America? I want to play. You let me know. Because I know people are saying this in the news, that he is threatening the Supreme Court members with this.
And with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you are about.
You're about to, the mumbles. I mean, the mumbles there at the end.
Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you are about.
What does that mean? What is he talking about there? Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, is the star of the night. I mean, there's no question. I mean, it's such an interesting thing because, when historical moments are happening, a lot of times people don't think it's historical because it's just happening. But sometimes things are happening, and this is history. And this presidential election right now that we're going through, this whole era we're in, the things that are going on right now are historical turning points. And just in the last few weeks, what's happened is astounding. I want you to think about this, okay? I don't like saying it this way because the media always got to say this. I don't like to use former when I'm talking about President Trump, but I'm doing that because I want you to understand the historical significance of what's going on here in these last couple of weeks. We have a former president of the United States who, 4 years not being in office, has come back and swept the Republican primaries in a historic way, performing better than Ronald Reagan did in 1980. Okay? That in itself is historic. It's also, I call it the Trump miracle. I know some people are starting to pick up on that. I wish they'd give me credit when they use my stuff in their columns. But you look at everything they've done to this guy, not just since he came down the escalator, but just since January 6th. And for him to come back this strong and more popular than ever is historic. Historic. Then this country is being invaded by a very large army that's like we've never been invaded before. And we, of course, had this just god-awful, tragic murder of Laken Riley in Georgia. And let me tell you, Laken Riley is one of the major turning points in a presidential election that does not happen all that often. Usually they're either, the turning points in presidential elections usually are in TV ads or debate moments or flubs, right? Like, of course, my Swift Boat Veterans for Truth ad that I created that only I give myself credit for because everybody wants to take credit for such a great thing. That, I paid for this mic, or I knew Jack Kennedy and you're no Jack Kennedy. There's these kind of moments in presidential campaigns that change everything, okay? The disgusting, sad, preventable murder of Laken Riley be preventable. If Donald Trump were in office, it wouldn't have happened. She'd be alive today. We never would have heard her name. That is a major turning point, not just with young voters, but in particular women. I watched last week that daylight vigil that the girls had at the school where Laken Riley went in Georgia. I've never seen so many girls come out like that for something like this. And, you know, young girls, the Gen Z girls, are now MAGA because they're afraid. They're afraid if they leave their house, they're going to be raped and murdered. Now, I know Jen Psaki and Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid think it's funny that people that aren't in a official border state are concerned about the illegals. But girls are afraid to go to Target alone because there could be somebody there who rapes and kills them like they did Laken Riley. That is a turning point in this election that's going to be with this election. I would not be surprised if Laken Riley's name is mentioned in Trump's inaugural address. I wouldn't be surprised. Then last night with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who got in the head of this senile old coot and took over the State of the Union speech and got Joe Biden to ask the question, how many thousands of Americans have been killed by illegals? He asked that right there during the State of the Union. I mean, that's amazing that she did that, and everything else that went along with that story that I talked about in the first hour. These aren't just hot news items of today or last week or things that everyone's talking about. These President Trump's incredible success in these primaries after everything they put him through. A former president running again. You know, when presidents are out of office, nobody cares about them anymore, especially after one term. Not this guy. It's amazing. It's a miracle. The disgusting, sad, tragic murder of Laken Riley and then Marjorie Taylor Greene last night. These three incidents, these three moments, these three things are historic, and they're the things that turn the country around and wake people up and red pill people that don't even follow the news. Do you know how many millions of people for the first time today are going to hear the name Laken Riley? Millions. Millions. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
The Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation is here. I'm Scott Shannon. How would you like to get a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera. You get a doorbell camera. And you get a doorbell camera. Wish I had it forever. The first 40 true oldies listeners who call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Yeah, you can see your home right there in the palm of your hands. But that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're going to get an LED touchscreen pan, a motion detector, 10 contacts, backup battery, and service plan. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies listeners that call 833-283-5050, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer. 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Market on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Perfect.
This is John from Lighthouse Medical Center, CFO and Director of Neuropathy. I want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th
I'm just answering some emails and DMs from people. If Ron, hold, hang in there. Unreal.
Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldie.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I want to remind you guys, Dr. Appleton, start the weekend without pain. He's open today, of course, but he's also open on Saturdays, and even on Saturdays, appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. In fact, most of the time, when I go to see Dr. Appleton, I go on Saturdays, and I just walk in. I don't make an appointment. And, hey, by the way, Dr. Appleton, sorry I haven't seen you in a while, but you've rid me of pain, and I just haven't been, in pain. Maybe I'll do something over the weekend and get hurt again, because I'm so much more active. I mean, yeah, I know. I love it. And it's, when you're in pain, it just affects everything. I mean, it really does. And, all the pains I had were god-awful, but when I've been suffering from pain, especially the years of suffering in my knee that he rid me of, years of pain, it was tough. And, when I do the show here, I always stand when I'm on the air, and it was my right knee, and I'm right-handed, so naturally you want to put your weight on your right leg. I couldn't do it. I had to put my weight on my left leg. I was leaning up against a chair during the show because I was in so much pain, and sometimes I would kind of not even have my right foot fully on the floor because it hurt. And after just 2 treatments, a year and a half ago, it'll be 2 years this summer, Dr. Appleton rid me of years of suffering from knee pain, and it has not returned. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is the masked lady Louise in Boca.
Uh-huh.
I'm calling again. Brian, this is important. Our Republican friends don't even realize our primary starts tomorrow.
For the early vote, yes.
Yes, but they don't even know. We didn't get notification. I never got a sample ballot. They're not even publicized.
Yeah, well, we live in a Democrat county. Go figure. I haven't gotten a sample ballot either, and I usually get them.
Well, tomorrow starts, and it's till the 17th, early voting, and then on the 19th is Election Day.
Are you voting early or on Election Day?
Well, I think I should vote early. What do you think?
Well, I don't tell people what to do. I do what's best for you. Just make sure you vote. No, it's not bad. And let me tell you why early vote. Now, early voting's good, and it's good practice because I tell you, the Democrats, their entire operation is on early voting. Their entire operation, and in the general election, if you wait until Election Day, okay, on Election Day, the Democrats are already millions of votes ahead of us because they've been voting for weeks because they do early voting. That's all. Their whole effort is early voting. So in one single day of voting, it's difficult to catch up sometimes.
All my Republican friends, they didn't even know about this voting. I called the supervisor of elections. She said, we sent out mailings, we sent out flyers.
I've got nothing. No, I've got nothing. No, I've got nothing. Nothing. And it's not that the sample ballots are useful to me, but it's just a reminder. Yeah, I've got nothing in my mailbox involving the voting.
We need a good showing for President Trump.
Okay. Well, and what we're talking about is the Florida primary is on the 19th, but early voting starts tomorrow.
They have the ballot. I got a sample at the library. They have him last.
Of course.
7. It's in
Of course. Give me a break.
Hinckley. Did you ever hear
Hinckley? Yeah, John Hinckley. I know John Hinckley.
No, Binkley is number 1, and he's the last one.
Oh, my goodness.
It's pathetic.
That's okay. That's okay. Let them do what they do. You know, and I'll tell. By the way, did you guys know? You probably know, but they let John Hinckley out of jail. He shot. Yeah, he'd been out of jail for a long time. He was in the same jail with Chapman, who shot John Lennon, and they. Keep in mind, John Hinckley shot a president of the United States. He should be retried for the murder of Brady. Brady died many years later from the head injury and everything else. He shot a president of the United States, and he's a free man, John Hinckley. Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
Sick. If he would have shot a Democrat, he wouldn't have gotten out. It's because he shot a Republican, they let him out.
But anyway, I'm just saying to everyone, please get out and vote.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Louise. All right, take care. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Dan Johnson from La Crosse, Washington.
Hey.
Show radio from
yes.
America. So a couple of thoughts. We got a couple of regiments of regular Chinese, military-age men. They've got their own police department in California. We got an unknown number of jihadists running around free in the country, and all they've got to worry about is what hat Marjorie has on? Really? Really?
Well, they don't care about those other things. That to them, that's mission accomplished. I mean, look at these Chinese police stations, right? For example, that are all over the country. The Chinese police stations are the Chinese intelligence service, and they've got these spy centers openly throughout the United States in all of our major cities, including New York City. You know, we're being invaded right now by China. That's a fact.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We just, they're just snowballing us, and they won't even address the issue.
That's okay. They're going to be out of power soon. Trump's coming back, and let me tell you, the Senate's different because only a third of the Senate is up, and some of these guys are in strong seats. So the Senate, we may take back the Senate, but but we're going to have a massive majority in the House, a massive majority. Yeah, I mean massive. We've got like a 1-seat majority right now.
Yeah. So what do you think of the idea that's been kicking around about them trying to put up a couple of false flags?
No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Nobody would buy it. No. And let me tell you, nothing like that would happen. Anyone who's talking about that, that's just someone who, there's a lot of people. Glenn Beck has this thing, right? Like I remember Glenn Beck, he used to, he's gotten away from this a little bit. I don't listen to his show too much anymore, but he used to do this thing where the whole world was going to collapse, and he advertised the seeds. You remember his seeds? It was like, these were like Jack and the Beanstalk seeds. It was like this little vial of seeds you could hold in your hand that could grow a whole field of crops. And when the economy collapsed, you'd be able to grow a field of crops with these seeds from the tube. A lot of people that do shows like to scare the audience and keep you on edge that doomsday is going to happen and false flags events are. Now, I know these things have happened in the past, but even the Democrats want this guy out, okay? So none of these things are going to happen. It's easy to scare people. A lot of people that do shows on different platforms and things like this around the country think that if they scare you, you'll keep listening and all this stuff. The Democrats want Biden out of office, and you can see how we're swapping the President Trump didn't just beat Nikki Haley and DeSantis; he beat the Uniparty. The Democrat, in particular in New Hampshire. New Hampshire, which was a crossover state. So Nikki Haley was there with her boyfriend, Governor Sununu, but they spent almost a year trying to get Democrats and the Uniparty to turn out against Trump in favor of Nikki Haley, and she got creamed, And so Donald Trump, I want you guys to understand this, in these primaries, he not only defeated these loser traitors like DeSantis, he beat the Democrat establishment and the Republican establishment, the Uniparty. So these things that people want you to worry about might have been in play in the past, but it's not a concern now. That doesn't mean we don't need to have a massive turnout and run like we're 60 points behind still and swamp them. Like in the Florida primary, Trump's already got it, but we need to have a massive turnout in our primary. All right, man, I got to run, but thank you for the call. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. First morning meteorologist Vanessa Jimenez from WPF 25 News. We're tracking some patchy fog mainly outskirts of Okeechobee and the Treasure Coast until 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll see a lot of sunshine later this afternoon with highs in the 80s. It's going to be hot and humid. As we head into the weekend as well, we'll see some passing showers on Sunday. Much cooler.
Yeah, let's see the next.
Okay.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Hey, Chuck. I don't know if this is true for you guys. This week flew by. I cannot believe it's Friday already. This was like the fastest week in a long time. It just flew by. Yeah, I mean, John Hinckley should never be free. It's disgusting. I was in 4th grade when Hinckley shot Reagan. I remember it very well. I got off the school bus, came home to my grandparents' house, and it was on TV. I don't know. I don't remember if I saw it live or right after. Probably right after they replayed it, I would guess. I don't know. It's been a long time. 4th grade, that was 81. Thank you, Mario. Yeah, a listener sent me this hoodie. They sent me a whole bunch of hoodies with the same logo on it. I gave one to Steve. This orange is my favorite color. I kept most of them, but I gave one to Steve. And there's a guy that's one of the tire installers at Friendly Tire, our sponsor. He's a big Trump guy. Gave him one. Now, some weeks go faster than others. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And guys, don't miss my weekend shows from my other studio where I do take live calls just like I do here. So, you know, if you click the notification bell and subscribe, you'll get a notification when I go live over the weekend. Does anyone remember who John Hinckley said he did it for? When he shot Reagan, who did he do it for? Whose attention was he trying to get? Anyone remember? Jodie Foster, that's correct. Jodie Foster. I tried to watch that new show she did on HBO. Oh my gosh, it's awful. Yeah. If he only knew she was gay, she wasn't in the dudes, maybe he wouldn't have done it. I'm sorry, everybody knows that one. Yeah, that's correct. Jodie Foster. Oh, that was the best State of the Union ever. What Marjorie Taylor Greene pulled, I'm going to have to recap it again in a bit. I'm going to take some calls because a lot of people have been holding for a long time. But we'll be back in 49 seconds. I don't think he looked pissed. I think he just didn't know what the freak was going on. I doubt that's Scarlett. I think if Hinckley had dinner with Bush, we would know about it. He was screaming because when a lot of people that are going through severe cognitive decline, they think if they're angry, that they seem like they have energy and are with it. It just makes them look more senile, more out of it.
Celebrating 47 years on the...
All right, callers on hold, stand by. 38 minutes after the hour. And, of course, we're celebrating Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union last night. I'll recap all of that with the great Marjorie Taylor Greene in a bit, but I will go to the phones. And remember, it is open phones on Friday, open MAGA mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind's fair game on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics we bring up, all right? Our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, that's it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Bruce.
Okay. He didn't say how many illegals have killed Americans. He said how many legals have killed Americans. He was trying to gloss over the death of this girl.
Oh, let me play it. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Be a winner. Not really.
Think about it. Here's the Democrats booing a girl who was raped and brutally murdered, you know.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
Oh, okay. You got it. I stand corrected. How many are being killed by illegals? That's you're correct.
What a disgusting statement is that? It's disgusting. It's
You know what it means? You know what it means? It means that he's totally excusing her killing, like it's okay.
Yes, he's glossing it over like it means nothing.
Oh yeah, she got killed, but listen, this is the thing about these crimes with the illegals. These are all crimes that could be prevented. Okay? These are crimes that could be prevented because if you were protecting this country as you're sworn to do as Commander-in-Chief, they wouldn't be in this country.
That's right.
What a sick person.
Totally sick scum. I heard that last night. I actually stayed up and listened to this idiot, and I heard that, and my jaw hit the floor that he said something like that.
It's god awful. Well, hey, listen. When he was with the Gold Star families at the airport, he was looking at his watch.
I know.
I mean, what does that say? The disrespect, and I don't know anything about Laken Riley other than she was a 22-year-old college student. Okay, but she's an American. She was, raped and murdered brutally by a monster.
Right, and she shouldn't be dead now, but for this scumbag in the White House.
And he totally, well, how many illegals are doing? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's like saying, you have someone who's loses a child from a drunk driver. Well, how many accidents are being caused by sober people?
Sober people, exactly.
So, hey, let's just drive drunk then. I mean, what? That's... All right. Thank you for the clarification. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Hey.
Great show again, as usual. You're right on the money all the time. You don't let anybody get away with anything. And you're right when you tell them what's going on, because you're right. You're a walking encyclopedia, I think, as far as...
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Quite welcome. Let me say this about Donald Trump. We should have, because there's a lot of lumber there, carrying 220s around, we should have a $40 bill with his head on it.
Didn't you call with that yesterday? Didn't you call me yesterday and suggest that?
No, I did not.
Didn't somebody else do that? Somebody else did then. Did you hear that somewhere? Because I got that same call from someone else yesterday.
No, I didn't hear it, but I think we should vote for that one.
That's a good idea. All right, that's a good idea. All right. Yes.
Right. In New Mexico, United States, which is in Arizona, you can walk through a gate, where they have the person who checks your identification. But if you just walk about 100 feet to the right or 100 feet to the left, there is nothing but neighborhood. You can just walk right across the...
Yes.
Because Trump's wall's not there. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, the illegals know. The coyotes know. All right, Mike, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. Am I there?
Yes, you are.
Hi. Hello. Hi, I'm Soteria Love.
Yeah. Okay. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind was last Sunday I went out to vote, and the primary votes here in D.C., and I asked, I got bum rushed right at the door with Nikki Haley, people who were at her table with T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in there, they were like, do you know I said, I know where I'm going. I said, I'm on the train.
Oh, I like that. The Trump train. I like that. I'm on the train. There you go. Yes.
On the train. And I didn't think to wear any Trump, gear. I just didn't think like that. Because I just got into Trump when, in 2015, I was so confused. I wasn't at all. Zero. And I saw Trump at a black church on TV. And I'm very spiritual, so it was like the Lord said, look, don't you see me? I said, well, I'll be doggone. I saw a light shining through his eyes, and I fell in love with him. I mean, madly in love.
Wow.
And I was like, and I told my friend from Mississippi, I have a Caucasian friend, I love her. I met her at a Trump rally here in D.C., and we've been friends ever since. And I told her about you, Brian. I said, there's a guy that's on Florida radio. I think he loves Trump more than me.
Yeah, probably do. Obviously you're a caller of color. You're a black woman. Okay. Now, so when you said before you weren't on the Trump train, so what are you, a lifelong Democrat who's finally woken up?
Look, I wasn't political at all.
Oh, you didn't vote. You didn't vote.
Get us by our ignorance. Black people I'm not saying all of us are ignorant, but we're just blind and not political people. Not really, but we're waking up now. I mean, Trump woke up.
Great.
Basically. And so what happened was when I started realizing the difference between being a Democrat and a Republican, I said, well, how did they make me a Democrat? I didn't even know I was a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure I'm a Republican. I went down to change my party affiliation, and I got my card because you couldn't go to the primaries unless you were already, registered, pre-registered. And so I went to my ward, which is Ward 6, and I saw Trump's name on the bottom of the ballot. And I said, hold up, what's this about? And so the guy told me, he said, this is
alphabetical. Yeah, same thing here.
Caller to know that.
So let me ask you, are you retired or do you work?
I am. I'm retired.
What did you do? Because you're in D.C. Before you were retired.
I did 32. Well, somebody might know me by saying this. I did 32 years at the Washington Post. I was in the union. And
you worked for the Washington Post? Oh, my goodness, the Woodward and Bernstein paper.
Well,
how can you not be political? How could you not be political working at the Washington Post for 32 years?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Ever since I became Weldon Moore, like I said, woke me up and saw that Trump was, his.
Yep.
And I know the election was stolen.
Mm. Real quick, because I got to run for a break, so I'll give you the last word.
Okay, Biden. Let's not take this for granted. The people are bamboozled. He came hockey last night. I was shocked because I never heard him speak like that before. I never could listen to him because I knew he's illegitimate. Everybody to know we gotta pray because it's gonna take a miracle. Go through this again.
Yeah.
Losing the election.
What's your first name again? What's your first name?
I'm Soteria.
Soteria. Now, I don't need the last name. No last names. Soteria from the swamp. Right? All right. Take care. Take care. All right. Welcome to the show. All right. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6.
All right. And it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
All right. What do you have for us today, Barry?
Well, we want to make sure that people have a plan to take care of their loved ones, a plan to have peace of mind, and a plan that works. And in order to have a plan that works, number one, you have to make a plan. Because if you don't make a plan, then you have the default plan, which is the state of Florida plan that we call the rule of intestacy under the statute. And so you'll go to the default plan, which for most people it may not be what they want. It's not designed to help them avoid probate or guardianship, and it's not going to give any of that bloodline protection that we talk about, so that the people who would inherit your assets, the ones that are by default even, can end up getting the assets in a way where it's completely unprotected from lawsuits, creditors, divorces, people dying in the wrong order, getting remarried, and then some other family bloodline getting the assets simply because you didn't make the effort to make a plan. And then the other thing is, when you make a plan, sometimes things change, and you have to review it and get it updated from time to time. So for those reasons, many people don't have an estate plan that works. Our goal is to help people have an estate plan that will work for them whenever it is that they need it, whether the time comes where there is, God forbid, an incapacity or a death, so that the family doesn't have to deal with the mess, and you can have the peace of mind that you and the people that you care for are protected. And that's what our goal is.
Absolutely. And it's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, and the Siegel Law Group cover the entire state of Florida. Now, with offices throughout South Florida, the primary office, the main office and headquarters in Boca Raton, but in South Florida, offices from Miami north through Palm Beach Gardens, and you have a new office in Naples, right? Yeah, and but if you're anywhere in the state of Florida in this age of Zoom and FaceTime and everything, the Siegel Law Group can help you as well. All right, here's the number. It's toll free, 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, thank you.
Back after this.
The social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve.
All right, we're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Terry from Florida.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, now if Trump do get in office, it's the end of the world, man.
Oh.
The world is coming soon. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
I heard God speak judgment upon the earth.
So what are you doing in preparation?
What am I doing?
Well, that, I mean, so no, so it's well, no, I'm going to, you going to work today? What about, what, do you work, do you go to work any day, or do you have a job?
No, I'm off today.
No, but when do you go back to work? I don't care about your, I want you to just play out, excuse me. It is March, right? So we've got April, May, June, July, August, September, November is when Trump's reelected, and then we've got January. Does the world end in November when he wins, or January when he takes the oath of office?
You need to read about the apocalypse.
No, well, I got you on the line. You said the world will end with Trump's reelection. Is it in November, or do we get one last Christmas and then it's after the inauguration? At which point?
That's when everything gets started. Everything gonna start going crazy when he gets in office.
Okay, when he gets in office. So let me ask you: are you paying your rent or your mortgage payment? You making your car payments? Or are you stopping that?
You got to do what you got to do into the income.
Okay, so you're still going to work, paying your bills. I mean, why? If the world's going to end in a few short months, by the time they catch up to you to evict you or foreclose, it'll be like you could drag it out till then.
I saw people taking money out of their banks.
Yeah, I know. It's called, you go to the teller machine, you get out $100, $20, I know.
The thing is, no, they were taking all of them. I'm talking about every dime, every penny.
How do you know this? Okay, tell me about this. Okay, where did you see this? In person?
In a vision.
In a vision. A vision. What are you on CBD or something? Do you smoke marijuana?
No.
Do you use CBD in any form?
But hey, no, just
okay. So in this vision, with the vision of people taking all their money out of the bank, okay? What did that look like when they go to the bank to get all their money out? What did they say, and how did they give it to them?
They just took it out the bank. I just saw these things. I saw it in a vision.
No, but what happened? Did they have a stack of $100,000 in cash? How did they do it?
They had. I didn't know what they had. All I know is they were taking money out of the banks.
Yeah.
Out of the banks. Because the world was going to be destroyed.
So if the world's going to be destroyed, what are they going to do with the money? You can't take it with you.
Well, it's going to burn up right along the world.
So if the world is ending, why are they taking their money out of the bank? What are they going to do? If the world's ended, what are they going to do with the money?
It's going to burn just like they know.
Then why take the money out of the bank? That seems kind of useless.
Doing it. I'm just telling you what I saw in the dream. I'm telling you what I saw in the vision.
So they knew. So the people in your vision they were taking all of their money out of the bank. How did you know they were taking it out of the bank because the world was going to end?
Because God revealed it to me. Revelation.
No. The people in your vision that were taking the money out of the bank, how did they know that the world was ending?
But see, the thing is, if you want to be ignorant, be ignorant.
No, I'm trying to know. I'm trying to get the information.
I'm trying to tell you what God is about to do, because I heard God speak judgment upon.
Well, here's the thing. If the world is ending, why do you need money at that point? Doesn't make sense.
You're not. That's why they were taking the money out of the bank, because they were going to spend it.
What in your life brings you the most joy and happiness and pride?
What's this got to do with me, man? Why you be trying to switch things around?
I'm not. No, this is no. Tell me what brings you happiness more than anything else.
Listen, my point is to
No, this is my point. See, there's nothing, and just a little psychological thing. Excuse me. This is just a little. Okay. All right. This is just a little psychological analysis of you. The reason I asked you what brings you joy in your life, no, I didn't ask anything, okay? I'm not Michael Myers, all right? I asked you, you're not going to get out. You're not going to get out of this by calling me a racist, okay? I'm not one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something that when a black person calls a white person a racist, they get all nervous, okay? I know that because my wife was watching the Real Housewives the other day. I saw it. But you can't think of anything in your life that makes you happy, which means you're unhappy. And because you're unhappy and nothing in your life, nothing in your life brings you joy, you want the world to end. You're on like some Thelma and Louise suicide trek here.
My mouth, but it's not going to work.
I'm not going to put anything in your mouth. I'm just doing a little psychological examination of you, all right? Take care. I mean, that's what I read from that. Nothing in his life brings him happiness or joy. He's miserable. He wants to die, so he wants everybody else to die too. That's what I took from that call. And I welcome you guys to share your thoughts on that. Come on. You would expect to say my kids, my wife, my family, my grandkids, something. My puppy dog, my kitty cat, something. But he couldn't think of anything because nothing brings him joy or happiness. He is miserable. Now, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. He's offering free phone consultations. I mean, that's an amazing thing. Can you imagine? No matter where you are in the United States, by the way, you could take advantage of this. Free phone consultations with a top financial planner and retirement advisor. That's a great, great gift he's offering. I know a lot of you have taken advantage of it because Joe Thomas has told me. Joe Thomas, he called in the other day, and I was telling him, I said, I've been hearing from a lot of people that I know, friends and family, some of them incredibly successful, some of them very financially successful, pretty well-off people. And they were telling me that they have annuities, and I had no idea. And, if you want to be successful and secure in your retirement, you want to do what the successful people are doing, right? And that's annuities. Because with annuities, you're not risking your money. You're not gambling it like you are in the stock market. The thing is this. For most of us, when we get to retirement age, there's not a lot of new money coming in. What you have is what you have, for the most part. For most people. Not everybody, but for most people. So when you have money that you want to put to work for you, you don't want to risk it because you're not out in the workforce anymore where you're going to replace it in 6 months or a year or 5 years. And that's where Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities come in, because with annuities, you're not risking your money and you're guaranteed income in your retirement. And let me tell you, there's no one who's retired that doesn't find an extra income stream helpful. Whether you got a pension, you're on top of your Social Security, or maybe you're well off. Still, that extra revenue stream is always good, isn't it? That's right. Someone who was very financially successful told me that they never have less than 3 income sources coming in. Never less than 3. And that's, you want as many as you can, but that's how successful people are, as many revenue streams as possible. And Joe Thomas can help you with that. Now, again, it's a free phone consultation, and here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and you can get the number right there, jupiterjoe.com. All right, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Steve will be joining us, and I'm going to recap what Marjorie Taylor Greene did, which was fantastic. I'm Brian. We'll be back after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted
By Taco Bell, Taco Bell's breakfast.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC. Check out the Paddock's fabulous three-course dinner shows like So Good, the New York Experience March 8th, and Petty Nicks tribute to Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks April 26th. And don't miss comedians Adam Carolla March 22nd and 23rd, and Pauly Shore April 19th and 20th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
The Sloman 3 home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation is here. I'm Scott Shannon. How would you like to get a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. Wish I had them for everyone, but the first 40 true oldies listeners who call 833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Yeah, you can see your home right there in the palm of your hands. But that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, the motion detector, 10 contacts, backup battery, and service plan. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies listener that call 833-283-5050, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer, 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050.
They're coming back.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve joining us. Steve Kane, hello.
Good morning.
Oh, man, the greatest State of the Union ever last night. Well, yeah, because of what Oh, I watched it this morning before the show. Yeah, because I wanted it fresh in my head. And what made it the greatest wasn't Joe Biden, because he sucks. What made it the Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I started the show with this at 6, but I want to go through it again and recap it, because this is just phenomenal. You know, she wore her MAGA hat. They threatened to arrest her for wearing it, and she refused to take it off, okay, the Sergeant of Arms. She said the Sergeant of Arms was a man. Well, who was that lady that introduced Biden? But did you see what she did to Biden? Oh, this is what made it great, okay? It had nothing to do with Biden. It was all about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene when Biden was shuffling down the floor to get to the podium, she handed him the button that said, say her name, Laken Riley. She had an interaction with him. And then during his speech, she shouted out, say her name, Laken Riley. And then she got Biden to, on the fly, on the spot, unprepared, no teleprompter, to change his speech and start talking about Laken Riley. And he blew it and caused a complete disaster. And I'll play the audio of both incidents. But this is what makes it the great State of the Union speech. Not Biden, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene made history last night. Never in the history of the State of the Union has a member of Congress, especially of the opposing party, because she's MAGA, she's Republican, get the President of the United States to change their speech and change the messaging of their State of the Union speech. It's never happened before, and it's historic. So the first clip, this is when Biden's shuffling in to the podium, and Marjorie Taylor Greene stops him and hands him the button that he was holding in his hand while he was giving the State of the Union. Say her name, Laken Riley. Okay, listen. Hold on. Let me make sure you can hear that. Let me rewind it. Okay.
Say your name, Mr. President.
Okay, so that's when he's walking in. She hands him the button and says, say her name, Laken Riley. Say her name, and he took the button. He said, I know the name, I can say it. Then, during the speech, when the room's quiet and only Joe's talking, Marjorie Taylor Greene, wearing her Make America Great Again hat, burst out and says, say her name, Laken Riley. And then he does it. And he blew it twice in the same sentence.
A winner, not really.
Okay, now you hear her say her name, Laken Riley. And these boos you hear are the Democrats who were booing the name of a young... These are the Me Too Democrats, remember. They're booing and hissing the name and memory of a young 22-year-old college student who was brutally raped and murdered, which is pretty disgusting. And then Biden blows it.
I'd be a winner, not really. Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed.
Okay, so he says Laken Riley. Her name is not Lincoln Riley. It's Laken Riley, okay? And he's holding a damn button with her name on it, you know, which is incredibly disrespectful to her memory, and her grieving parents.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal.
Okay, now that's the second thing that gets him in trouble. There's three things here. This is the second thing that gets him in trouble. He called the illegal rapist murderer from Venezuela an illegal. Not a newcomer, not an undocumented immigrant, but an illegal, which is to Democrats is like saying the N-word, okay?
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Okay. So then what he... Yeah. So then, but it wasn't murder by any... Okay, so then he messes up a third time. So first, he said... he wasn't even supposed to talk about this, but Marjorie Taylor Greene... This is what made it great. Marjorie Taylor Greene just hijacked the State of the Union. This has never happened before. She got him to say the name and talk about... He said the name wrong, called her Lincoln, not Laken. He called the newcomer, undocumented immigrant an illegal. Second boo-boo. And then... He said, well, how many illegals are killing people? Which means, like, her murder's okay. You know, I remember during the O.J. Simpson trial, okay, we'd get calls during the murder trial when it was so clear that this guy did it. I mean, Ron Goldman's blood was in the Bronco. How'd the hell that get there, right? And black callers would call us and say, yeah, OJ did it, but white people have been getting away with killing black people for 400 years, so 2 for us is okay, isn't it? Let him go, right? We used to get those calls every day. I'm not kidding. And they were deadly serious. So then he says, yeah, she got killed by this illegal, but how many people get killed by legals? Which means it's okay. It's okay. It happens every day with legal, so it's okay for illegals to kill. That was just a disaster of a State of the Union for this senile old coot, Joe Biden, and it was a shining moment for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I wish I had an award to give her. I do. She deserves an award. I promise you President Trump called her last night after that. I just thought that was amazing. That's the whole highlight of the State of the Union. Everything else is, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Eddie from Ohio.
Hey, Eddie.
I'm visiting down here in Florida, but watching you on the YouTube there channel, I'd like to say that President Trump, with all these legal lawsuits and those fines, if there'd be a way that maybe we all get together and do a Trumpathon and pay that fine.
If somebody put together a marathon or a telethon, I think it would be called Americathon. Save America. Yeah. He doesn't. We don't need to do that because he's not going to be paying anybody anything.
Yeah.
Did you see? Did you see what happened to Letitia James yesterday? Oh my goodness! I'm going to play it after the break. Yeah. He's not going to pay Letitia James a dime. He's not going to pay E. Jean Carroll any money. No one's getting anything, okay? Don't worry. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just thought there'd be a way to where we could back him where he's his own money.
He's not gonna have to pay them anything. And if he has to give them anything to get through it, he'll get it back. Don't worry. Especially E. Jean Carroll. How can you have a trial like that? No witnesses, no timeline, can't even say what year it happened. The defense can't bring in witnesses. Hey, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? I want to the caller that's on hold, because I know you can hear me, okay? And they may hang up or say something. You've been on hold. You've been on hold for 2 hours. I've picked your call up once or twice, and it's like this. It's dead air with me on in the background. Obviously you're a grown adult. What are you doing? See, he's listening to me they're on delay. They're listening on the radio. This person's been calling since 6. I go to the phone. They're not there. You hear me take some calls in the first hour. I said, I've left them on hold since then, which was 6:30 in the morning. I want you to think about it. Because obviously, if you're listening to this program, this isn't some kid. You're a grown adult over the age of 50, and you're making crank phone calls. You're in the car. I know. It's got You're in your car, listening on your car radio. Look up at that rearview mirror and look at yourself in the face and think about your life right now when you've been sitting on hold for 2 hours just so I would take the call and there'd be silence there and nobody would be there. And look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing with my life? All right? Linda. Oh, I know their name. Linda. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
To tell you the truth.
Why?
My favorite person.
Why? He said...
Circumstances, which was pretty pressure-filled. He got through it without any major screw-ups. And
but you're wrong. You're wrong. I just detailed the major screw-ups about the whole thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's a major screw-up.
Well, I thought he did okay.
No.
Everyone was expecting a disaster.
It was, and I just detailed. Now, the media aren't going to spin it this way because they hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's having a great week. She said F you to that BBC reporter the other day at Mar-a-Lago, and now this. But the thing about Marjorie Taylor, this was, Steve, this State of the Union last night was the most disastrous State of the Union that any president has ever given. Ever. And, because Marjorie Taylor Greene hijacked it, and he embarrassed himself after she hijacked it. And I was talking about this earlier. When she yelled out, say her name, Linda's calling back. Can you believe this? It's not going to happen. You're going to sit there on hold, okay, Linda? I mean, my goodness. Maybe they looked in the rearview mirror and said, oh, my goodness, I'm a loser. You know what could be worse? It could be Linda's husband. That would even make it worse. But, Steve, nothing like this has ever happened before in a State of the Union. It was the biggest disaster in the history of the televised State of the Unions. Nothing like this has ever happened. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted that out, he's so out of it, I think he thought it was one of his handlers giving him a stage cue. Like when they throw your lines at you when you're on stage. I think it was kind of like that. I don't think he knew what happened. And then he blew it every step of the way. So no, it was a disastrous State of the Union, okay? It was the most disastrous State of the Union in the history of the State of the Unions, and it was Marjorie Taylor Greene's State of the Union, and that's what made it great, was her. She made history. She got Biden to humiliate himself through her clever actions. It was not a moment. It was the night. When Ronald Reagan said, I paid for this, Mike, okay, that was one moment in a 2-hour debate or an hour debate, but it was a moment. The moments are what define these things. And no president has had a disaster like Biden, and it's all because he's checked out. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. Well, Karl Rove and all these jerks that analyze it on television won't. But I think most people will agree with me. I'd like to open up the phones to this. I know it's open phones, and you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind today, okay? That is true. However, I would like to say I'd like to hear some very specific comments on the heroism of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was threatened with arrest on the House floor last night, and she stood up to them. And after she was threatened with arrest, she went on to do what she did. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Maybe President Trump will bring her and Brian to Mar-a-Lago, and they'll have a weekend this weekend down here at Mar-a-Lago. The weather's great right now. There's not a cloud in the sky. Perfect weekend to hang out at Mar-a-Lago, Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott from Margaritaville at Sea. Make planning your next adventure in 2024 a breeze with Margaritaville at Sea's fan favorite buy one, get one free sale. Whether you're looking for a quick weekend getaway to soak up the Caribbean sun or family fun on a longer vacation to Key West in Mexico, Margaritaville at Sea has got you covered with cruises for two.
I took that call because I wanted to talk to them. I kept them on hold all that time, and I knew it was going to play out that way before I took it.
Unlock the ultimate license to chill and book your ticket to paradise today at margaritavillatSea.com.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE. Hi, this is Gabriel,
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Call us on hold standby. You know, the free shipping offer at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout continues site-wide. No matter what you purchase, no matter how large, no matter how small, it is free shipping. This free shipping offer will end without notice. I check it every morning before the show starts to make sure it's still in effect, and it is. And you get the special deals, too. You know, the MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0 is 50% off right now. The other mattress toppers, huge discounts on those too. But you get the discounted deal plus free shipping, okay? And that's a big, big savings at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
Hey, Renee, what's up? Yeah. I love it when arrogant bigots try to think that they can get away with breaking the law.
So you're talking about segregationist Joe Biden, who in 1979 went to President Carter and asked him to continue allowing private schools to segregate so blacks couldn't go to school there?
By the way, did Trump...
No, guess not.
20...
So tell us about the State of the Union last night, Renee. Tell us about the State of the Union.
Oh, well, I thought Marjorie Taylor Greene made a fool of herself. And, you know...
Tell us Biden's greatest moment.
I'm not going to tell you what you want.
Okay. You said Marjorie Taylor Greene made a fool out of herself. Tell us about that then. When did she make a fool out of herself?
By interrupting his State of the Union.
Well, she didn't just interrupt it. She turned the whole State of the Union around, and he started talking about what she told him to talk about. I'm not answering any of your questions.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, all right, thank you. And the reason I'm not is because you're not answering mine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ernie from New York.
Captain? What are you, a police captain?
No, I'm a boat captain.
Oh, a boat captain. Okay. Yeah.
Applicable of a boat?
I don't know if I'd want to be on your boat. You seem to have an attitude. It's okay.
You get it. I throw you right off.
Oh, New Yorker attitude here.
Yeah.
No, this is good. What's on your mind? You picked up the phone, Captain Jack. What's on your mind?
Captain Jack is my brother.
Oh, probably, yeah. Yeah. Billy Joel wrote that song about him. You called us, Cap. What's up, Captain?
Yeah, you're awake.
What part of the boat is the stunsail? Oh, okay. I was curious, Boat captain should know that. Yeah. He didn't know. Maybe he's not a boat captain. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Barker from Wellington.
Barker in Wellington. What's up?
Hey, I think what Marjorie Taylor Greene did yesterday was amazing. It was great, and she does deserve a medal. I do agree with Steve, though. I was so pissed last night because I thought Biden did okay. I was expecting him to stumble more, to not know what he's talking about.
So, I mean, basically, what you all are saying is this, okay? He didn't go number 2 in his pants while he was up there, and they were floating this story that he was going to take 2 intermissions, which they leaked that out to set a perception.
For days and days, he didn't show up.
Listen, they got him hopped up on that stuff that they left behind in the White House. But
I think absolutely they did that, and I was pissed because we need the people to see what he really is, not what he's pumped up on what he's been training to do for the past 10 days, and that's why I'm saying we can't deny that yesterday was okay.
No, it was not okay.
Let me cheer you up. I was very happy with the way it went last night because my big fear, the thing I was most worried about, was the fact that he would fumble and like you're describing here, he would fumble and make it so bad that they would eventually pull him and realize that he was not capable of participating in the campaign.
Right.
And they would throw him out. I was afraid that he would. I don't want to go against anybody but Joe Biden. And the fact that he got through it, I think, is good for us.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't get through. It was a disaster. You know.
But not for us.
Oh, for him, it was a disaster.
Let me ask you a question. Look, it's very simple. Would you have rather Joe Biden had a meltdown last night of the nature that this caller is describing, and the Democrats forewarned and realizing that they're not going to be able to have him as a candidate, got rid of him and brought Michelle or something like that?
Well, see, yeah.
He got past it.
I'll go with number two.
No. See, I disagree with. See, I disagree with your whole thinking. The night last night was great for us because it was so disastrous for him. It was a disaster of a State of the Union for Biden.
It would have been a disaster if he screwed up really bad. And we woke up this morning, the headlines of the paper with the Democrat.
Steve, they're not going to. Steve, they're.
It's Joe Biden.
See, you guys have these fantasies, and your fantasies didn't come true, and that's why you're experiencing that. What I'm telling you is that out of
I'm trying to figure out what part you're disagreeing with.
everything you said.
You say, hold on. Are you saying that you would have preferred him to screw up so badly that the Democrats agreed to run somebody else?
Well, first off, the Democrats, they want to run somebody else, and Jill won't let them, okay? So, and the other thing is that I am answering it, just not with the answer you like. Steve, that State of the Union was the most disastrous State of the Union ever.
Okay.
No president has had a disaster like that.
Made him embarrass himself. I didn't see any other moment. I mean, yes, he was what?
Listen, every moment, yeah.
There are candidates that I'm more concerned about in the Democratic side than Joe Biden.
No. It was. You guys just don't know it yet. You know, this is the thing, okay? Every historical moment, there are very long events with one or two moments that make them historical, right? You know, I can hear you, and the people that knocked down these buildings will hear you too. Or, you know, those kind of things. It's one sentence out of a long speech. And what I'm telling you last night is what Marjorie Taylor Greene did was not only hijack the State of the Union and get Biden to say things that were terrible for his people. He called undocumented newcomers illegals. That's like saying the N-word to the Democrats. That's a disaster, okay? He got Laken Riley's name wrong. He wasn't even going to talk about it, but he called her Lincoln. He wasn't going to talk about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted it out. He thought it was a handler, whispered in his ear, and he did what they said. Then he excused the murder of Laken Riley and said, well, legals are murdering Americans too. So that was the most disastrous State of the Union that ever has been. He will be. Well, Steve, I mean, if that's your standard, every day is a great day for them.
That's a big difference.
That's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. Listen, we're like Yeah. Well, listen, we're 4 minutes late for the break, but thanks for the call from Wellington. All right, take care. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with
Great. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought.
expressways at this time, but we are seeing stopping going to Turnpike northbound between Lake Worth and Southern Boulevard, also on 95 southbound between Laken and Turnpike Paulette. So just some very light traffic this morning on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach and Avoca, no major delay. We have a multi-vehicle crash now in West Palm Beach along Coconut Boulevard at 61st Lane North. Palmetto Park Road and Boca Rio Road, a crash still there. But an incident now cleared in Lake Worth on 10th Avenue North at Kirk Road. This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Savings, now that's speaking the Lowe's language, and with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with members-only offers. Learn more about their new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions, see lowes.com/terms for details. That's traffic for Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate St. Patrick's Day at the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with live Irish music and a $30 all-you-can-eat Irish buffet featuring Irish dishes. Now for our extravagant Easter brunch buffet with On-Track Family Fun Fair. Get your picture taken with Ace the Easter Bunny. On Track, we have a petting zoo, face painting, cornhole, and gym mining. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Is that easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they make back for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you're looking for the best seafood in town, you have to try Chowderheads. You'll love their authentic New England seafood, loaded fresh from Boston.
Amazing video right now where you confronted him. Walk me through that.
So the first one I confronted was sex.
What is a beautiful day.
I am pleased to say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on and let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
Don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. The mini lab test now with Boca, the mini lab test now with low sprays. Prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed. They're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor will order. They have drug testing and STD testing to control your health care. Test now with Boca and any lab test now with low sprays. There's lots of mini lab tests out there. These are the only two advertised on our radio stations. Don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with low sprays. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, which she's just spectacular. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. So after the State of the Union last night, she did about an hour-long talk with Brian Glenn from Right Side Broadcasting, who was also her boyfriend, and she broke down some of the things that happened last night and gave her analysis and all that stuff. It was really good. But she not only confronted Biden when he came in, she confronted Mayorkas too. And I mean, she's, you know, now remember, the sergeant of arms threatened to arrest her and remove her from the chamber because she was wearing a MAGA hat that she refused to take off. So she took on the sergeant of arms and won. And then this clip I'm going to play is Marjorie Taylor Greene talking with Brian Glenn from Right Side Broadcasting about her interaction with Mayorkas and Biden when they came into the chamber.
The scene and what it felt like in there, and as he walked by you, and there's amazing video right now where you confronted him.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through that.
So the first one I confronted was Secretary Mayorkas. I want to start with him. The House impeached Secretary Mayorkas. Those were my articles of impeachment that we passed on the House floor. Historic. As a matter of fact, this is one of the only Republican accomplishments we've had this Congress. And when Secretary Mayorkas came walking down the aisle, I was sitting, my seat was right by the aisle, so I was standing up right there, and I held this pen out, and I said, Secretary Mayorkas, and he turned to me, and I said, say her name, Laken Riley, say her name, and take this pen. And his face went stone cold. Wouldn't say a word, and he wouldn't take the pen. And then he kept going, and that was first when the cabinet came through. But when they announced the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and he came in, of course he was shaking hands, talking with everyone back and forth, and I happened to be videoing him with my own phone, I had the MAGA hat on, I had my hat on, and he'd seen it as he was coming down the aisle. He saw me with it on, and the first time he saw me, he went like that, his head back and got his eyes real big. And then he said hello to some more people, and he turned to me, and I held the pen up, and I said, say her name, Laken Riley, and I offered him the pen, and he actually took the pen, and he said, I will say her name, but he didn't say it. He didn't say Laken Riley. And he looks absolutely like he does not care. He looks like he could care less about Laken Riley, but he knows it's an issue for him.
Oh my goodness! I will disagree with her at the end because I saw Did you see the interaction with her and Biden, Steve? He didn't. To me, I mean, she was there, so her analysis of it's better than mine because she was physically there. But I've watched the video a whole bunch of times. He just looked checked out. He just didn't. I don't think he knows what the hell's going on. You know, and I don't. It'll be interesting to see how. See, the news coverage. I watched the news coverage right after, and they were already starting to. I got only one clip. I played this in the first. Let me pull this up. Okay, so Dana Bash had Pelosi on after the State of the Union to do analysis, and this thing of Biden referring to illegals as illegals sent shockwaves through Democrat circles. Like I said, that is the equivalent of the N-word to these libs, okay? And Nancy Pelosi is on with Dana Bash on CNN after, and Nancy Pelosi blew it. Listen.
I should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing?
I actually wasn't even going to ask about that.
Okay, now I'll play the rest of it, but Dana Bash said, I was not even going to ask about that. So Dana Bash, what we caught here was fake news in the making. She was attempting to spin and cover up the disaster at the State of the Union and wasn't even going to bring that up. And, you know, that's a big deal, calling illegals if you're a Democrat. But it was such a big deal and has sent so many shockwaves through the Democrat Party that even when she was so upset about it, Nancy Pelosi, and all the other Democrats were so upset about it, that she just blurted out about it when she wasn't even asked on CNN. I'll play the whole thing now.
I should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing?
I actually wasn't even going to ask about that. I was just going to ask more about the moment. But you do think that he should have said undocumented? That wasn't going to be my question.
Well, we usually say undocumented. He said
Yeah, I mean, that's... Steve, I mean, I don't know why you're not seeing it. I'd see nothing but disaster.
They're talking about two separate events, and I'm just saying, it depends which way you ask the question. If you ask the question of what was the most important thing, from my perspective and my point of view, the most important thing was that Biden emerged from last night's State of the Union still the Democratic candidate.
Well, he's going to be.
Afraid that he would have the kind of meltdown that he's been known to have of late, where it's so bad that the Democrats were all saying we got to get rid of this guy as a candidate.
Well, you've got a standard that's not able. Now, did you see what happened? Because none of that's going to happen. Did you see?
And we're talking in theory.
Okay. Did you see what happened to Letitia James?
No.
Oh, after the break. After the Gold Report. This is, well, I don't like to do teases, but I looked at the clock. I got it queued up to play, and I looked at the clock, and it's time to check in with William Youngman. So we'll take our break, and then we'll share that after the Gold Report.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals finishing up the week?
The metals are strong as can be. The market yesterday, gold up $11.50, closing out the day at $2,159.40 after trading in a range of $21.47 all the way up to $21.64. Silver gained 14 cents yesterday, closing at $24.27. Platinum gained $11 at $9.18, and palladium was down $7 at $1,025. The rally really took some big move this morning again on employment revisions, and that pushed gold up almost $20 immediately. Gold up right now $23.60 at $2,183 the ounce. Trading in a range so far this morning from $21.55 on the low to $21.85 so far on the high side. So we're looking at $2,200 gold here, and that's a move of about $100 in a week. So we are really seeing
live
here. Silver up 28 cents right now at $24.55 the ounce. Platinum up $7 at $925. Palladium also gaining $7 at $1,032. So, our $2,200 number, which we were forecasting end of last year for this year, we may blow through that before we can before the day's over even.
Wow, this is amazing. So because this has been an exciting week. When people call or stop in to buy gold and silver, what are they buying? I mean, do they just say I want silver, I want gold, or are they asking for specific things?
Some people have their specific desires. Some people like the U.S. product, some people like the Australian product, some people just want to go with whatever's closest to the spot price of the metals, paying the least premium as possible. And it just also depends on the volume that you're buying. So we help people formulate their portfolios in ways that it makes the best sense and for each individual.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, William Youngerman is open at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And you can also stop in. His shop is located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. And I'm reluctant to say shop because that kind of goes in with the metals business. It's really, William Youngerman's is a museum at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road in the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk next week.
Okay, have a nice weekend.
All right, we'll be right back.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the...
All right, so the Laken Riley event was disastrous for Biden, the biggest disaster in the history of the State of the Union. But Letitia James was speaking yesterday to a group of New York City firemen. And Letitia James, one of the leaders of the lawfare movement, she's talking to this group of New York City firefighters, and I'll just play it. I won't tell you what they said until after, but this is beautiful. Okay, so there's a fire chief talking. He introduces Letitia James.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God.
Okay, so the fire department, these firefighters of New York City are booing Letitia James, and then listen to what happens next.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins.
Now they've broken out into, these are firefighters, New York City firefighters. They stopped booing Letitia James, and now they're chanting in unison, Trump, 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 Trump.
First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
Wow. I mean, is New York in play now? I think New York is in play. New York City firefighters chanting Trump to Letitia James after they... I think New York's in play. What do you think? It's possible. Oh, my goodness. I mean, we're just winning everywhere. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah.
Hi, this is Shane from Jensen Beach.
All right, Jensen Beach, what's up?
I was wondering if you could do me a favor and help me understand. I'd like your opinion on this. My wife and I are confused, and we don't get what's going on. Is that what all the major companies like Target and Walgreens and these places, when you go into the stores now, all the picture on all the walls are just Asian people and American black people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the commercials that are on TV, I just don't understand what's in it for the companies, why they're doing it.
Well, I don't understand what you're asking my opinion on. Why don't you just say what you want to say?
Well, I just don't get how come all the people in all the stores, like, the advertisements to the TV and the stores,
Yeah.
Asian and black people now.
Oh, really? At Walmart and Target. Why do you think?
Yeah. I'm not sure why companies do it. I imagine why, what the...
So you go into your Walgreens or Walmart, and they have the pictures up like of the store manager, and they're Asian or black.
No, not the store manager. It's just like the fake pictures of like people that are wearing the clothes for the store. Like,
oh, you mean the advertisement?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about a marketing campaign. It's like I turn on TV. There's a commercial for a bank, and it's an interracial lesbian couple, with a kid. Yeah.
The people who are in the commercials, the actors, the are actors, of course, that are used. If you look at them, you'll see who the advertisement.
No, the caller's on track with this. If you watch television commercials, you don't see white people in commercials too often, unless it's a criminal that's breaking into somebody's house. He's a white criminal trying to break into a black family's house, and the alarm goes off.
I'm sorry to talk to everybody. My wife's Guatemalan and she doesn't get it too. She's like, well, I don't understand. There's nobody from.
Yeah, it's true. Listen. This is what's going on. The commercials, the marketing is done out of marketing agencies, mostly in liberal New York City. And they're all woke. And so they've decided that all the commercials and all the marketing will be black people mostly. Very few white people. And on occasion, Asian people. But as many non-whites as possible. It's just liberals trying to be diverse by bringing back segregation and hiring.
But it seems to be so overdone. It's just gotten so, it's ridiculous. I don't watch a lot of television, but if you try and watch a football game on Sunday, the commercials, you won't see anybody else in any of the commercials.
You don't see white people in commercials. No, you don't. No, it's all. You're right. That's true. No, it's not, Steve. Watch the commercials. Watch the commercials. You'll see a white person like every fourth commercial. You will. That's what they've done now. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steve in Martin County.
Hey, Steve.
You got to help me out here.
Oh.
There are times that I think that former President Trump is intentionally trying to lose the election.
Oh.
I don't believe that, but for what he's saying and doing. If I eliminate what he's doing today, inviting Orban, known to be an authoritarian, to Mar-a-Lago, which looks like he's there to get authoritarian lessons. If I exclude that and why he would do that after last night's speech. We can say a lot of things about Biden's speech, but he certainly wasn't feeble.
Who?
A few minutes ago, you said at 6 a.m.
He wasn't feeble. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
He wasn't feeble?
You think he was feeble?
Oh, yeah.
I think he came through last night relatively unscathed.
No, it was a disaster. But anyone who calls President Trump former President Trump, I would expect them to think that Biden didn't look bad yesterday.
But look at the commercials that the Democrats have not even started to get into yet.
Like what?
Where Trump is like, I killed Roe v. Wade, when the majority of the country thinks women should have the freedom.
Really? Who says that? Slow down. See, I told you. Anybody who calls President Trump former president, you got to watch out for. You said, what I think is that people that don't like Trump like to emphasize the former a lot. But the thing about it is, okay, let's go back to your Roe v. Wade. President Trump overturned Roe v. Wade by his perfect appointments to the Supreme Court. You say the majority of Americans support abortion, that it's a minority opinion. Overturning Roe v. Wade has been a part of the Republican platform since I was a little kid. And I never thought it would be possible to do it. And it happened. And what surprised me more than it being overturned was the fact that there were not nationwide protests of women and lesbians across the country griping about it. And if Roe v. Wade is an important issue to the majority of Americans, why aren't they in the streets protesting it, especially when it was first overturned?
The midterm elections, that's...
No, we didn't. Oh, my God. Here's another guy. We did not lose... Okay, before the midterms, who was Speaker of the House?
Help me out here.
Nancy Pelosi, right? Before the midterms, Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House. After the midterms, who was Speaker of the House? Who was Speaker of the House after the midterms?
I'm going blank on his last name. Help me out here.
Well, were they a Republican or a Democrat?
Republican.
Okay, so we won the midterms. Nancy Pelosi was fired as Speaker. No, we didn't lose seats. Nancy Pelosi was Speaker. The election happened, and she wasn't Speaker, which means we won the majority. How do you think we went from having Nancy Pelosi Speaker, and then she's not Speaker? No, excuse me. You say we lost the midterms. If we lost the midterms, she'd still be Speaker. Okay, maybe you'll think of an answer. I said if we lost the midterms, Nancy Pelosi would still be Speaker. We didn't lose the midterms.
We have less Republicans in the House than we could have.
Oh, no, that's not what no. Then we could have.
Republicans in the House.
No, we didn't lose.
Exceed expectations.
We won. I don't care. I watch a track meet. They win by a millionth of a second. No. Hey. Listen. You can yell all you want, caller, like Biden, to make it sound like you're with it. You said no. Hey, hold on, caller. Slow down, caller. Slow down. You said oh.
Even allow a vote if.
Okay. Listen, caller, slow down. Slow down for a second. I want to ask you. He's trying. No. You listen, okay? I want to give you an opportunity to retract your statement, okay? And correct yourself. We all make mistakes, right? Everybody makes mistakes. You made one. You said we lost the midterms. Now that I explained it to you, that Pelosi is no longer a speaker, do you want to correct and amend your statement that we won?
As well as losing the president.
Does this mic work? Is my microphone on, Mike? Or is this guy just pretending not to hear anything? We won the midterms. You did not. Then how? Oh, wait, what do you mean? Hold on, what do you mean you did not? I thought you were MAGA. Now, when you say you, that means I'm the opposition. That you just outed yourself as a Democrat. Or a never-Trumper Republican. You said you lost the midterms. Not we lost. You said you lost. Oh, you blew it. This is like in Stalag 17, Steve. Where were you when Pearl Harbor happened? Oh, we got him. We got him. Boom. I knew it long enough. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Sarah.
Sarah in Colorado. We're going to see you on the cruise next month.
Yep, yeah. Well, I was going to say, and this is for everybody, make sure you know who's running in your local and your state and your federal. If we're going to help Donald Trump, all of us have to help each other get candidates that are going to run with him.
That's right.
Not against. I went to my caucus last night and I found out that just in my county, we need to change things. If you don't do that, then we're not helping each other.
That's true. Now listen, Sarah, we're at the end of the show, so if I'd have known it was you, I would have taken your call earlier. It's good to hear from you, and we're going to spend eight days together on the cruise. Exciting. I can't wait. All right, Sarah, you take care. I'm excited too. All right, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back Monday. See, told you. Anyone who says former president, got to... All right, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Brian. Steve Kane, of course, is here. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. God bless Donald Trump. See you Monday.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown.
I got that guy, didn't I? Oh, my goodness. All right, I got to run, guys, but I will see you later, all right?